Malta is beautiful, there's no doubt. I highly recommend you catch up on the first 3 parts of this Malta series if you haven't, and they're linked in the description below. For now, let's get cracking on the final episode, part 4 of this beautiful Malta series.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up.
Good morning everyone and welcome back to my video. It's another day and it's another episode of my beautiful Malta adventures. The weather's a bit grey today and it's kind of chilly. Well, it's winter after all. But the winters are really mild here in Malta, which is just great, you know, t-shirt, air conditioning weather. So this is a brand new day for me to explore. So we've done previous episodes, we've done the island, we've done another part of Malta. So today we are a lot closer to the capital. I am in Floriana, which is just next to Valletta, and that's the capital of Malta. So today in this episode, I'm going to be concentrating my video in this part of the island. So come along with me and let's get this video started. Let's do this.
Everybody just do your thing.
The Republic of Malta. With a population of just over 500,000 people, it's the world's 10th smallest country by size and the 5th most densely populated. With a rich historic beauty and a coastline blessed by coves and cliffs, let's see what this spectacular destination has in store for the curious. In this travel series, we travel through 7 countries in 2.5 weeks. We started in Singapore, then found ourselves in France. From that long journey, our final destination is here in Malta, where we'll spend most of our time. We move on to Italy, Switzerland, UK, and finally Vietnam before flying home to Australia. So this series will be filled with heaps of flight reviews, train journeys, destination vlogs to last a few months. If you don't wish to miss any episodes, make sure you stay tuned for future videos, and they will be linked in the description below as and when they're published. Even better, hit subscribe and the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever the next episode goes to air. Giving me a like will encourage me to keep content flowing, so here's a thanks because your support is very much appreciated. After our rather hefty hotel brekkie buffet, we're now all charged up for a day of walking. That's because we aren't going to touch our trusty little European hatchback rental car at all this morning. Instead, we put our trotters to work, and with the beautiful city of Valletta ahead of us, we're destined for the ferry service which would take us across the bay to Sliema. Ordinarily, most ferry-bound passengers would be walking to the jetty from Valletta. But since we're walking from Floriana just outside these walls of Valletta, our walking route takes us behind some random narrow walkway of people's backyards. And just when you think Google is pulling a fast one on you, voila! What greeted us at the end was an amazing view of the coast. Transport Malta is presently in charge of operating a couple of these ferry services, and today we're on the one which plies between Valletta and Sliema. Depending on time of day, these services run every 30 minutes from each end. It runs 7 days a week between 6:30 am to 6:15 pm, except on Sundays where the service begins at 9 am. In summer months, this ferry operates until midnight to cater for the extra traffic. One thing to take note though, which caught us off guard. Payment for this ride is only done in cash, which is very strange in 2023. But hey, we thankfully had some loose euros with us, so it was happy days. The fare is 560 euros each way, so make sure you have some jiggly coins in your pocket for this unexpected requirement. If you've watched part 3, I made a mention about my phobia of being in an enclosed area on sea vessels. Therefore, sun decks like this one is always welcomed. Besides being a great coping mechanism, this is also awesome for fresh air and to soak in some great views along the way. This ferry ride is up there with Hong Kong's Star Ferry crossing between Kowloon Tsim Sha Tsui and Hong Kong Island, and the Sydney Ferry between Circular Quay and Manly. The views are what postcard images are made of. Absolutely Instagram heaven. As we pull away, we get to appreciate the stunning Renaissance skyline of Valletta, Malta's beautiful capital city. However, as jet lag was our greatest enemy on this trip, our visit to Valletta later today would be very short. The ferry ride is about 30 minutes and we're now pulling into Sliema. After spending the last 4 days away from built-up areas, I'm now confronted by the modernity of touristy infrastructure filled with high-rises containing hotels, shopping malls, and high-end condominiums. Sliema is the most densely populated area of Malta, with almost 20,000 people per square kilometre. Its population density is almost similar to that of Paris, which is presently Europe's most densely populated city. Besides Sliema, many other harbour towns in Malta have also experienced recent dramatic population growth, increasing its density and testing the city council's urban planning to the max. During this visit to Malta, I see a country struggling to cope with traffic, tourist movements in low season. I shudder to imagine what this scenario is like in summer when Malta welcomes a spike in visitors, millions of tourists seeking to enjoy the sun. And just like that, we've crossed the bay from Valletta into Sliema. Wherever you go, if you have a chance to take a ferry ride, you must always do it, because that's the best way to take in the views of your surroundings. What was once a sleepy village, Sliema is now a major residential and commercial area and a centre for shopping, bars, dining, and a thriving cafe scene. Interestingly, Sliema in Maltese means peace, which very closely relates to the Arabic word of salam, which means the same thing. In modern-day Malta, Sliema is considered to be a very desirable place to live in because it's relatively affluent. People from here are most likely to speak English as their first language, and as you can see when we arrived at the wharf, traditional Maltese architecture has been pretty much replaced by modern buildings, and some of the tallest structures in this country are found here in Sliema. Property prices are unsurprisingly very high, and with more and more people moving here to live, it has resulted in significant traffic woes, parking problems, and the constant construction of apartment blocks, each taller than the last, therefore creating constant noise pollution issues. One reason to visit Sliema is to walk along the beachside promenade known as the Sliema Front. Sliema is known for its rocky beaches, so you can imagine just how hustling and bustling this will become in summer. Since Malta's winters are so mild, on a day like this, the weather is literally perfect to be outdoors, taking in the cool breeze. The stroll is rather relaxing and enjoyable, and if you're tracking your step count, this walk will definitely be a very tranquil way to do it. There are of course heaps of hotels, restaurants, and cafes which line this promenade. And now it's about the right time I check out Malta's favorite soft drink. I've been seeing ads plastered literally everywhere ever since I arrived in this country. I've seen it on buses, billboards, on the back of chairs, supermarkets. You know what I'm talking about. It's Kinney. And I'm here to take my first sip with the beautiful Sliema as a backdrop facing the Mediterranean Sea. Kidney is quintessentially Maltese, like how Pepsi and Coca-Cola are linked to American pop culture. Many ingredients go into making this drink, which include licorice, ginseng, and rhubarb. It has a very punchy, woody and orange rind bitter aftertaste, which honestly wasn't to my liking. For those of you who like Campari, Negroni, or tonic water-based cocktails, then Kidney will definitely tickle your nether regions. Unfortunately, this isn't a drink for me, which is such a shame because I really wanted to like it. Ultimately, the town of Sliema is blessed with an incredibly stunning coastline. On one end, you look out into the calm Mediterranean Sea. On the other side, where we are walking now in dramatic slow-mo, Valletta provides an awesome background for you to marvel at. So here we are, heading back to the ferry wharf as we head towards our next destination for this video. And this is probably the one I was looking forward to the most. After walking the morning away, we get back into our trusty hatchback and drive towards Marsaxlokk. Located at the southeastern region of Malta, Marsaxlokk is a traditional fishing village known for its views, the Sunday fish market, and its entire promenade of restaurants serving nothing but oodles of fresh seafood. The gathering of fishermen around this bay has dated back to the 13th century, and during that time, it was just rough pasture with not much significance. During the French invasion of Malta in 1798, one of the landing points for this occurrence was right here in Marsaxlokk. The village started taking shape from 1846 as the settlement became more permanent. In the 1930s, because of the protective nature of this harbour, Marsaxlokk was a stopping point for flying boats who flew the long-distance journey between England and other ports of the British Empire. And just like that, we've ended up in Marsaxlokk. So Marsa is south and Xlokk is harbour. So this is where we are. So everyone comes to Marsaxlokk for one reason only, and that is to have the seafood. So this is what we're gonna do today, and I cannot wait to eat. Right. Let me quickly correct myself there before I get crucified and burned at the stake. Marsa is the Arabic word for harbour, and Xlokk is Maltese for southeast, which is how Marsaxlokk got its name. Marsaxlokk harbour is characterized by these colourful boats known as lutzu, which is a common vessel used by these fishermen to work on. So these colourful lutzus aren't for show, they're really still in use today. I am here to eat, and in case you're new to my channel, one thing I can't stop doing is eat. I've had viewers leaving comment that it's disgusting, watching me eat all the time, and having to see me open my mouth to put food in made them turn the video off. I am a foodie. How else am I supposed to eat? Liquefy my meals and sip them through a straw? Sometimes I really wonder the kind of people lurking on YouTube watching my videos. Seafood is definitely one of my favorite meals, so on this trip through Malta and further in Italy, it would feature very prominently in my culinary repertoire. Hubby's choice was a prawn risotto, while I went for a bowl of fried seafood. I've been to many restaurants around the world where this is served on a huge bed of lettuce beneath to give you an illusion of how full the bowl is. I was honestly expecting the same thing right here. I kid you not when I say this bowl was seriously crammed full of this seafood with none of that lettuce beneath to fluff anything up. Prawns, fillets of sea bream, which seems to be a common fish here, calamari, octopus tentacles, and loads of little mussels. Sides of salad and chips rounded off this extremely generous meal, which I had trouble finishing. Hubby was most satisfied with his risotto, while I was overwhelmed by my bowl of deep-fried heaven. All things considered, this entire meal with drinks had only cost us 56 euros, which I thought was very reasonable. Do these prices go up in summer? Let me know in the comments. Oh my god, that was lunch done. I could not finish it. And all that for about 56 euros. So I think that's a pretty fair price. So the next time when you guys want some seafood, Marsaxlokk is the place to come to. But I don't think I want to do the fried anymore. I might want to do a grill the next time I come here. So yeah, grilled seafood is definitely a lot better than fried. Perhaps I was just a bit greedy. So friendly, the people here. Anyway, yeah, so now we're heading back to Floriana, back to the hotel to regroup, and then we'll be out to explore Valletta for dinner. With such a full tummy and our body clock still many hours out of whack from our trip so far, we headed back to the hotel after lunch and collapsed into a deep slumber before waking up to realize the sky is now darkening. And we'd better get our butts out there again before we miss anything. Because we needed to get dinner sorted as well. Oh god, more food. So here we are, bordering the walls of Valletta. The boundaries of Valletta maps out another walled city. And if you've watched the first 3 parts of this Malta travel series, you'd have been introduced to other walled cities we've visited during this trip. The official population of Valletta today is roughly at 6,500. It is the southernmost capital city of Europe, and at just 0.61 square kilometers, it is European Union's smallest capital city. A lot of the city's structures are Baroque and neoclassical in its characteristics, which makes it an incredibly beautiful place to immerse yourself into. Within these small confines, there are a total of 320 monuments, making it the most concentrated historical area on Earth. Unsurprisingly, Valletta is referred to as an open-air museum, and it has been recognized as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO since 1980. I've been told Valletta is very beautiful, but I did not expect this. This is absolutely stunning. Seriously, wow. I'm quite blown away by this. You saw the Christmas market in the last episode of this series. And that market is just outside the city gates which leads into this main street. Who does not want to be in this? The atmosphere was electrifying because we're in between Christmas and New Year, and everyone tonight is in a celebratory mood. Valletta is also in the middle of preparing for the New Year's Eve party, so yeah, this place is busy. While this environment is as pretty as it could be, at the corner of my eyes, I saw Burger King, which momentarily killed the joy for a few seconds. Yucks, why would anyone come to a place like this and head straight into Burger King? Ew. Now that we've gotten out of that crazy commercial street, things have quietened down a lot, and this is how the real Valletta is, not the one behind it that's so commercial with all the shopping and all. Everything's modern, everything's clean. You have, international brands like Body Shop and what have you, which is nothing to do with Malta at all. So this is the real Valletta. This is what I want to see. So we're gonna walk around to look at, the eateries that's on the side here. Some of them are still open at this time of the night. And yeah, you can tell that they're all preparing for New Year's Eve. And that's the next huge party that's going to happen here in Malta and around the world, I suppose. Yeah. If you want to come to Valletta, you need to up your fitness because it's just slopes and slopes everywhere. It's a lot of walking, a lot of steps that you have to climb. Oh my god. Yeah, I need to do more cardio, I think. So we are gonna try just how good the carbonara is, okay? They don't speak English, that's fine. As long as the food is good, I'm happy. After all that climbing with slopes and stairs, what else was there to do but to load up on carbs? And one of my absolute favorite pasta dishes is the carbonara. Because this is how I judge how great an Italian restaurant is. If I even find a hint of cream in my carbonara, I'd send it straight back to the kitchen. So now you know, there is no cream in a carbonara. Because the creamy texture you see is the emulsification of a beaten egg, plus heaps of black pepper, Romano cheese, and fatty, flavorful guanciale, which is a cured pork. Another weakness of mine is the scallopini, which is thinly sliced veal pan-fried with a sauce. In this case, it was scallopini al limone, which is a zingy lemon sauce. And this is what I appreciate when it comes to Italian food. It is simple dishes done well. The carbonara was spot on, because you'd have to make sure the emulsification does not become scrambled eggs. So getting the balance right is key. And this one was right up there, and that salty guanciale was a perfect accompaniment. We can generally get scallopini dishes in Australia, but they are normally of the creamy alfonghi variety. Al limone is rare at best, and I've only tried it once in Melbourne some 30 years ago. And voila! Here tonight, I'm reunited with one of my truly favorite ways to have my scallopini, the al limone. I'm a happy man tonight, and with this, it is time to conclude my time in Malta with a little summary. In my video about Air Malta, I mentioned that this trip was a life-changing one. Because before I arrived on this beautiful island republic, I knew nothing about it. My knowledge of Malta was pretty much limited to the country's airline, as any aviation geek would, and my husband's rabbit stew. Putting these 4 parts of the Malta videos have forced me to research into the country and get in touch with the spoken language. And Malta presents as a wonderful gem hidden in the Mediterranean. It's tranquil, historically rich, and who knew the Maltese language has so much Arabic influences? Add on a heavy dash of European flair, we have a delightful Creole, which is what we see today in Malta. But I also see a lot of challenges. Malta is struggling to balance holding on to its proud traditions and recognizing the need for tourism. Because the country struggles to cope with the influx of tourists. From the narrow roads to traffic jams, the infrastructure badly needs some looking into. Despite all that, I feel incredibly blessed to have been given the opportunity to experience Malta and her islands, and of course, her friendly people. I reluctantly draw this video to a close as I thank you guys for following me since part 1. And here is a sincere grazie usaha, and let's join Live Ryan in this conclusion. Well guys, we've come to the end of our stay in Malta, and this is our final night. And if you followed us since our first day here, I'd like to thank you for your support, for coming with us on this fantastic journey all the way until this final night. And tomorrow we move on to Rome in Italy, and just as well we finish the dinner with this fantastic, delicious Italian meal. I've chucked details of my Instagram on your screen right now, so make sure you hit me up there and chuck me a follow so you can see what am I doing in real time, and you can get an idea of the type of videos that will be coming up on my YouTube channel. And of course, more importantly, abona YouTube, grazie usaha. And I'll see you for my next adventure in Rome in Italy. Alright, take care all of you, and ciao bello. Bye!